can't believe this works out so perfectly, but it does, and I'm so excited to show you guys my planning pages and how I'm using them with my Charlotte Mason homeschool. Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy and I have a real treat for you today. I'm going to show you how I'm using my Mardel planner with my Charlotte Mason homeschool and how I'm making it work with these planning pages. I've showed you guys some of these pages on Instagram and Facebook, and I've had so many questions about how I'm making this work. It just works out really, really perfectly when I did these planning pages, and I wanted to show it to you because I know a lot of you have this, and I know a lot of you are Charlotte Mason homeschoolers, and maybe you didn't realize that they have like a 36-week overview in here, and it's so easy to kind of plug and play everything, so you don't have to buy like fancy Charlotte Mason planners or anything. You can just use the Mardel planner. So I'm going to take you over to my table, and I'm going to show you the breakdown of how I did this. Just be advised, I have not tried this yet, like in action. This is my first year really doing Charlotte Mason homeschooling, and I'm a newbie at this. So some things might not be right. I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it, okay? So I'm not a Charlotte Mason purist. This is just how I'm doing it for my specific student. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Okay friends, so here is the inside of my Mardel planner. I have this one, the Simple Plan 2025-2026 planner. Most of them are all pretty much the same inside, so if you're watching this in a different year, don't worry. Many of them are very identical, especially with the planning pages here. In the beginning of your planner, you have these welcome pages, and then you have these tabs over here to the side. I am in the second section called Planning. And in these planning sections, you have a section for each student. It says student up at the top. I only have one child, so I don't need to put his name up there. And then you have like a schedule breakdown here with your subject and curriculum. So the first thing I did here was I put the subjects and the curriculum that we have here, and I plugged it in on this makeshift schedule. Does that mean I'm gonna actually go by this schedule? Probably not, but it's just kind of like a loose schedule of what I wanna do. And then over here on the yearly overview pages, this is the part that came in really handy, and I'm gonna do my best to show this to you, but I wrote in pencil because I don't typically write in pen on these sections, and I'm glad I didn't because I ended up erasing it like 4 times before I figured out how I wanted to add things in here. Just a quick pause here in the video. This schedule is a free PDF on my website right now, which is the same one that you're seeing in the video, but I know it's really hard to see it on camera just because I wrote in pencil and I don't want to write in pen. If you want to download this, you can. Just be aware that I haven't used this schedule yet, so I don't know how well it works out. This is just kind of a loose schedule of what I plan to do along with the living book, so you can kind of see the living book titles here that I plan to do. And I added in the exam weeks in weeks 12, 24, and 36. If you want to download it, it's bymandymaltz.com/freebies. This is a free download right now. Don't feel like you have to read the same books or at the same pace that we're reading. Make this your own schedule. It's really easy to do, and just add in the living books that you want to at the pace that your child reads. This is just approximately what I know that my son will read in the books that we have picked out for our list. So you can use this and copy it if you want, or you can make your own using this as a guide. But I'm going to kind of give you a breakdown. So I know you can't really see inside the boxes as well as I would like you to, because if I go a little bit closer, the camera kind of goes out of focus and it's really hard to see just because it's in pencil. So I want to kind of give you the idea of what I'm going for here. So these are broken up into 4 quarters. It says first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. I'm ignoring that. Okay, so it says week 1 right here, and then it goes to week 9, and then it has week 10 through week 18, and then week 19 through week 27, and then week 28 through week 36. Okay, I'm doing the traditional Charlotte Mason 3-term schedule with this here. So you see these pink lines here? This is week 12, and that's the end of week 12. Okay, so this would be term 1. And then from here to here is term 2, and then from here to the end is term 3, because there are 36 weeks here. So this works out perfectly if you are doing that Charlotte Mason 3-term thing, okay? So what I basically put in here, and I'm using the history curriculum for this, okay? I am using this book here, which is going to be our ancient history curriculum, and it is Preparing the World for Jesus from Kevin Swanson at Generations. I will leave a link down below where you can check this one out. There are 2 books that come in this, but as I've said in another video, and I did a breakdown on this, I am only doing this book for this year, okay? Because this is a very large textbook, okay? And I did not want to rush through this, and I wanted to add living books to it. So what I am doing is I'm making my own schedule. Now, inside of the teacher-student workbook for this book here is a schedule for both Preparing the World for Jesus and the second book of world history for 1 solid year. So basically what I did was I made that into 2 years with their schedule. So I basically took week 1 and 2 and made it into week 1, and then week 2 is week 3 and 4, and so on all the way down to 36. So I basically doubled this schedule. Now I kind of have the chapters outlined here, so I'm not putting the daily assignments in this block. What I'm putting is the outline of what we're reading. So in week 1, we're just doing the introduction, and we are going to be reading Unwrapping the Pharaohs. So I broke down that book, Unwrapping the Pharaohs, and I put introduction, so I know that we're reading the introduction to this book, and then Unwrapping the Pharaohs, chapter 1, okay? And then I have it all the way down to week 6, because I know exactly how many chapters are in Unwrapping the Pharaohs. So here is the Unwrapping the Pharaohs book, and if you look inside, and I'm not saying that anybody has to do it this way, this is just the way that I'm doing it. You know, feel free to assign however much reading you want. I just know what is feasible for my child, okay? So please don't feel like you have to do exactly what we're doing here. You don't have to do what we're doing. So basically what I do is I look at how many chapters there are in each book that I want to do, and I divide it by 5. So there's about 30 chapters in here. There's 29, and I divide that by 5, and that's 6. So I know we need to read 6 chapters a week in this book, which is actually very doable because each chapter is only like 5 pages at the most. Like and there's a lot of pictures. So this is very easy for my son to get through in a day. Reading 1 or 2 chapters, like that's not a big deal for him at all. And that won't take us very long. So we'll get through Unwrapping the Pharaohs in 6 weeks, and we should be able to watch the DVD. So I have the introduction for week 1 for Preparing the World for Jesus, and then I have under it Unwrapping the Pharaohs, and then I could put chapters 1 through 6. And then I could go to week 2, and it says chapter 1, Preparing the World for Jesus. So all throughout the week, we're going to be reading parts of chapter 1 of this book here, and we're going to read the next 5 chapters of Unwrapping the Pharaohs. Okay, you see how that works? And then in week 3, we're going to read chapter 2 of Preparing the World for Jesus, and then the next 5 chapters of Unwrapping the Pharaohs. So you see how that works? And then we go all the way to to week 6 and week 7. So in week 6, we will finish up this book, and we will start this book. And then we're going to start this book here, and we are going to be reading this book for a number of weeks. And again, short chapters here, but not a whole, it's not like it's that long. And I know I already checked how many chapters. There's 20. Okay, so we're going to be reading this book for 4 weeks. And so that's what I have on the schedule. We'll be reading this one for 4 weeks, and then we will be switching over to this book. So basically I have under each box here the name of the chapter that we're going to be studying in Preparing the World for Jesus. And then I also have the book title. So like this one, it says it's exam week, but we're also going to be reading Trojan War, and that's for week 12. So you see how this kind of works. It's not that difficult at all. I'm not writing specific assignments or anything in here. That is not what this is for. Now, when we go over to August, and I haven't done this yet because we're not there yet, but like when we start in August, which I think I'm going to start probably the 3rd week of August, which would be August 11th. So we'll probably be starting August 11th. That's what these pages here are for. So one of these blocks here is going to be history, and I will put the individual assignments here. So whatever pages we're going to be reading in Preparing the World for Jesus will go here, and whatever book we happen to be reading, I will put that chapter in here as well, so I know exactly what we're going to be doing. This is more of just like a rough outline of how it's going to work. So I did the same thing right here for our poet study. So you see my lines. So you see the first 12 weeks, the second 12 weeks, the third 12 weeks. And then I have the poem that we're going to be reading. And I actually put on here the page number and the book because I had 2 or 3 books that I was going out of for different poems that we wanted to read from Robert Frost. And I went ahead and I actually put the page number on here so I didn't lose them because there was too many books that I was going out of. But I actually put the book and the page number in here, and each week we'll be studying a different one, or we will be reading a little bit about Robert Frost himself. So it's just kind of like a big overview of how this is going to work throughout the year. And then this one is going to be art. I haven't done it yet. It's blank, as you can see. And that's fine. I'm going to probably get that done after I figure out the other 2 artists we're going to be studying. I know we're going to be doing music as well, so I need to do art and music, and those are going to be my next subjects. And they have a lot of these pages in here. I think there's enough for like 5 students. So I definitely don't need nearly that many pages because I just have 1 child left. So I have plenty of pages here, but I highly recommend doing this in pencil because I went back multiple times and changed my book schedule and everything else. And I know some people have been asking where I've been coming up with like these books, like where am I deciding to use them and things like that. I'm hoping to get a video up about how I'm doing that. It may be on my channel already. If it is, I'll link it below. But if I haven't recorded it yet, I have been going through this book and kind of pulling things that I want to study a little bit further. Like I wanted one on ancient Egypt. I wanted this book on King Hezekiah because I've already read it before, and this one is really good. We haven't read Ben-Hur before. This one's kind of I'm not totally sure on it yet. I think I might actually replace this one with a different book. The Trojan War and Hittite Warrior and Unwrapping the Pharaohs. So this is my stack for ancient history and Preparing the World for Jesus. So there are 6 books in this stack, although I might change out that Ben-Hur one for a different one. And I think we're going to add one of Plato's books in here as well. And I have that on the schedule. But the great thing is because I wrote this all in pencil, I can go back and change the schedule anytime I want. I can modify it. And I don't do pre-planning as far as these pages back here where it actually has like the whole schedule. I do not pre-plan these pages. I pre-plan only a week or so in advance just in case somebody's sick or we have vacation or, you know, we need to leave or something like that. I don't want to have pages that I have to like totally rip out and do again. So I don't do that, and pencil is key with stuff like this because you might want to change it. But if you are doing the Charlotte Mason style, these yearly overview pages are fantastic. I know it says first, second, third, fourth quarter up here. Just ignore that. I just kind of go like this down the line, and everything seems to work out mathematically great with these pages. All right, guys, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Let me know down below, how do you do your planning and what planner do you use? I'd love to know. I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy homeschooling.